Okay, guys, so we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I'll be your friendly shop steward today because today, shop steward or caravan master? I don't know. Guys, I'm getting some mixed signals from this image in the background. We are carrying on with our ongoing campaign, Spires of Paridar, which is played with the remastered version of Paizo Publishing's outstanding fantasy RPG, Pathfinder 2nd Edition. This is our campaign that has thus far been occult conspiracy, class disparity, and industrial progress in a Coalpunk setting, but the last few months we have seen our heroes crawling through a subterranean realm and emerging on a bleached and scorched surface on seemingly a different world. So we will have to see where they are and why they are here. But let me show you who our stars are, or introduce you to the stars of our Spires of Paridar campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here, which tells who you are and who you're playing. First up, we've got Ingolf.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ingolf. I'm playing Basil Rathbone, who is an Isoki detective and out of his area of expertise here. But, well, we'll see how that works out.
Nice. Next up is Sean.
Hey, I'm playing Golag, son of Doc. He is an orc witch detective.
Very nice. Next, let's make sure our stream is going live here. Next up is James and his familiar.
Yeah, I'm James. I'm playing Sally Dumer, the Azarketti detective, and this is Titus, who's playing her pet tuner.
Very nice. And last but certainly not least is Darren.
Hello there, I'm playing Dr. Adam Ersprung, who is a created flesh warp inventor, and now with his newly crafted Igor Mark 8.
Wow, there we go. So, guys, let me grab everyone's token here, and I'll bring us over to... We'll be starting. What do you guys recall having happened last time? It was about 4 weeks ago, so
I wasn't there. I can.
All right.
My defense. Yeah.
We finally found the surface. We reached the cave entrance that led out onto the hot landscape. It was about 50 degrees out there, I think. Am I right in saying?
Yeah, it was like 48.8 degrees during the day Celsius.
Yeah.
120, I think, Fahrenheit.
Yeah, particularly hot. Our newfound friend, Zaboob. He decided to go on ahead and speak to the tribe, check if it was going to be okay for us to visit and, discuss anything we wanted to discuss. So we had a couple of days where we sort of had a little look around, did a little bit of traveling in the local vicinity, but didn't really find much. It was quite a dangerous place to travel during the night, he said, and you could lose your bearings quite quickly. So we didn't do too much exploring. He came back to us with lots of supplies, extra water and provisions, some better clothing, I think, for even traveling through the desert. I think Adam had made a couple of things to try and assist Sally traveling through the desert. So yeah, we did a little bit while away. Mm-hmm. But then he reported that there'd been, when he'd got back, there'd been some sad news, some bad news. That a number of, he called them June chasers, which are like adolescents or young members of the tribe that go out after sort of sandstorms and things, looking for anything that's been uncovered with all the wind and the sand moving around. But a number of these had gone missing. I think we got 7. I've got written down. Had gone missing. Also, a Skitterfolk caravan had also gone missing, and 3 search parties that had been sent out to try and find either of the missing groups. Two of them hadn't come back, and one had come back after being attacked by, they called them the Scorched Face.
So actually 4.
Oh,
2
4
went out in
bars.
search of the Dune Chasers. They didn't return. 2 went out in search of the caravan. 1 returned with only a quarter of their number. That's you're otherwise got that right.
Yeah, so 4 search parties then. Okay. So yeah, they were attacked by Scorch-Faced Horde. They were known as.
Yeah.
And there was also another group that was missing, actually, Shadow Spire Sisters, which were a group of like entertainers that travelled along the roads, because it's. I think they'd all been travelling along a sort of similar road or main road between settlements. So we agreed after a bit of discussion to travel back, speak to the leader of the tribe, and offer our assistance to try and track down and help find these missing folk, to obviously then get us a good footing with the tribe, and hopefully they'll be able to help us in return.
Okay.
Sure, there's nothing sinister.
No.
Anything else to add, guys? I think that fully summarizes what happened last time. But is there anything else anyone else remembers?
That was pretty good.
Your memory of last session will be quite limited, I imagine.
Yeah, I was. It feels like I wasn't awake or something like that. Yeah.
Then, Basil, do you have any questions about what happened last time?
Only why are they called scorched faces? I mean, do we know something that they have scorched faces or something?
They do. It's part of their markings of their... do you guys remember anything about the 2 different kind of tribes or gangs that were out there?
I mean, they are orc tribes, aren't they?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember much about them, other than they were orc tribes.
So the Scorchface Horde are slavers, and the Harrow Mob are renegade biomancers. So organ leggers, if you will. They will happily take things from... the slavers will take your whole body and sell it. The Harrow Mob does not need the full thing. They only take what they require. So... that is what is the most pressing things. I guess I can show... 'cause I can't remember if you were here for this, Basil, or not, but we can show you what to expect. Oh, I can tell you were not because your token's not there. Let me see. There we go. So this is what the canyon kind of looked like.
Very Marcy wipe. Yeah.
The illuminators climbed to the top of the canyons as well, and it seemed like it was like this for as far as they could see.
So
We ended.
Where did they get their food then?
Yeah, sorry?
No, they're just wondering where did they get their food then? It seems to be like water and food are more rare quantities here.
Well, not everywhere is like this. This is just the immediate vicinity. So then, anything else you guys wish to talk about before we dive in? We left you with a bit of a celebration from Zaboo brought some booze and supplies for you, appropriate clothing for the climate. Golai, don't worry, there are dry cleaners in the community of the Black Tower.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I remember the doctor made us some goggles, right? Some goggles for...
Yep. To protect against the glare?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, then, and I think Sally has a parasol, if I recall.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. Then let's get going. So, morning comes. And let's see here.
I think he suggested we set off as early as possible to sort of reduce the amount of heat of the day.
Yeah, definitely, because the threat of dehydration is particularly high in this place. So, but it will only be a day's travel. With everyone having changed, we would see all of you setting out early in the morning, and it is about 2 hours of travel through these canyons before things open up into a wider kind of open area. Let me show you where you find yourself now.
Hmm.
7 hours of travel through this type of terrain. You also find dunes where it will give way, but what he tells you is that the Great Basin is much further to the south. That is endless dunes for seemingly as far as one can travel, unless you are traveling on a winged mount or using one of the skitterfolk or the they called not the Adamaru, the Circe skyfolk, to be able to travel over it. The travel is extremely unpleasant. Would everyone give us a fortitude save, please?
Ooh.
Nat 1 from Golag.
Yeah.
That's a reflex save, right?
Oh, yeah.
Golag, you want a hero point then?
And I
Ooh, and Basil, that's not great either.
didn't roll a 1. So I would just spend a hero point.
Get
Okay.
that hero point spent.
And then it should be...
All right.
Okay, there you go.
Ah,
Nat 20, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, it'd be a bit embarrassing to be like, I'm finding in my homeland. Oh my god, the heat.
yeah.
I need a spritz. It is unpleasant, but Basil, you're actually finding it. You managed to figure a way to keep your heat down in a way that no one else is. You are the best acclimatizing to this. Not to say that you are born to this. You obviously were born to more underground dwellings, but you've adapted to this exceptionally well. Sally and Golag, I think, because, well, Golag is whether this is indeed kind of where you were, born to be. Basil, I think you added to your fate point instead of taking away.
Oh, we start with 1. I'm sorry.
Start with 1, yeah.
So, no, still not 1. This one. So
There we go. Nice. Null.
yeah.
Then we, Sally, whether it's the apparatus that Basil brought along for you or the parasol that Dr. Ursprung made, you're managing fairly well, given that there is absolutely no water to be seen for nearly an entire day of travel.
Very disturbing.
It's most upsetting. And Doctor, you don't...
It's the little sun patterns on the parasol that I particularly like.
Oh, nice. Yeah. He did insist on drawing little designs on it, so it's almost like you are walking in a little kaleidoscope. Adam, or Dr. Ursprung, you likewise are just weathering this climate incredibly well.
He's got particularly tough skin, so he stands up to it, I think.
That said, I don't think anybody wants to brush up against Igor after even an hour of travel, because you could cook an egg on him. It would that there was any eggs to be found. You truly begin to perhaps think that this is never going to end as the day carries on and as the kind of shrouded sun continues making its way across the sky. But that is when you spy, moving back into some terrain, or more mountainous terrain, the Black Tower. Now, the illustration will not match up with it precisely, but the community of the Black Tower, it appears to be probably several thousand people. Like, this is not a village. It is a proper community. And it's a combination of sort of rough-made... there's a lot of stone that is used in the construction. There's some wood, but the wood has the look of it where it has been repurposed several times, and it's quite bleached with time. The most prominent structure is a quite large edifice made out of sort of rough black stone that has a cyclopean look, that it has been here for much longer than anything else around it, with the exception being of the single black spire that you can see. And it's as if the white spires of Paridar were somehow reversed in color, because it has the same dimensions, it has the same color scheme, and it is right next to where the tower is built. The tower clearly has been built around it, and had you not been told by Zaboob before that those towers are older than seemingly anything else in Arthum, you might think they would just be a very weird bit of architecture. It sort of juts out to the side, so sort of as a side spire to the otherwise cohesive Black Tower. There are a couple of other buildings that are built with the same heavy black stone that are within there, but it has the mix. It has the look of a place. You could almost think of it as construction layers that are like sedimentary layers, where you can almost tell where, well, this was clearly built at some point much older. These are relatively new. These are things that have been sort of thrown together. And there is a wall surrounding the whole thing, seemingly built of stone and with a large, heavy gate made of bleached wood. The gates are open, although there is a clear vantage that you can see a road that leads away to the sort of, if the same cardinal directions are here as they are in Paridar, it would be to the northeast. And to the northeast, more of this blasted landscape. There are people who are sort of milling around on the outskirts of here. It looks like there is a some kind of like a bog where they are growing some kind of plants that you think that I mentioned that they are growing because you can see people working the field there. There are people marching their way through the mud and planting things. It doesn't look particularly appetizing, and it doesn't look particularly glamorous given how filthy these folks are. But as you approach the gate, you are greeted by two individuals. I would say, but the people here, they are dressed much more like what you are wearing now. It is not the kind of tailored outfits that you would expect from Paridar. There is not anything mass-produced. Everything looks like it would have been made by hand. However, that's not to say that there isn't detail and craftsmanship into everything that these people are wearing as well. The two people who greet you at the door, they are wearing some kind of leather armor that has bits of bone and stuff saturated into it. It is they are orcish, and they are carrying pretty effective-looking spears, although it is of more traditional materials. They see you coming up, and the one seems to recognize Zaboob, and it says, Who's this? Who are thee? And he's kind of looking particularly at Sally and at Dr. Ersprung. What are they? And Zaboob says to call... Oh, I need to get their names again. Paul Sarad. He knows. And they sort of look at one another, and one of them says, just wait over there to all of you, to wait in the sun. You wait for a time, and then I think I have. Let's see, did I load the things yet? Did not. I think I've got a handout for our first NPC here. Let me see. Here we go. This fella comes walking up towards you. Barefoot, as in the illustration, in spite of the scorching conditions. He walks over and in Orcish says to Zaboob, oh, let me resize this here. There we go. Says to Zaboob, these are your stragglers. And Zaboob says, yes, Urzul knows that I was bringing them back. I wish to bring them to speak to him. Siraj, his brow quite furrowed, says, it's a mistake. And he's saying it loud enough for you all to hear. It's a mistake to bring strangers in at this time. He looks at you, Basil, and says, what caravan are you from in Yasaki?
I would answer, I'm one of the outsiders. No particular caravan.
His eyes sort of focus a little more, or, he squints as if he's kind of hardening his gaze on you. A bandit? An outcast?
More venturing on my own.
And did you guys make use of the, I forget, did you make use of the disguise for Golag, where he's got scars, but you're trying to hide your shadow? Oh, you're muted. Timo?
I am indeed.
Then would you give us a... I think it is a bluff? No, wrong game.
Deception?
Yeah, give us a deception check there. Golag?
All right.
Bitta. Oh, and everyone gets a hero point as well. Great roll. Okay, so yeah, they can't tell. He sort of looks you over, Golag, and does not speak, and he looks at you, Dr. Ersprung, and what? Are you a warrior?
I am an inventor. And I gesture at Igor. I make things.
He looks at you and looks at Igor. You claim to have made that. And Zaboob says, he did. I saw him. And he looks over at you, Basil. Did you help?
No, not really.
Looks back at you, Dr. Ersprung, seemingly confused as to what you are. But he's going to leave it for now and turns to you, Sally. And what manner of creature are you?
I am Nazarketi. I am a sea creature. Something a little unsuitable for your land.
An Atamaru? And Zaboob says, no. She is unique, Sarat. And he looks at Zaboob. And Zaboob says, Urzul he expects us. Sarad kind of snorts, says, very well. Wait here to all of you once again. And he heads back in to go and collect or speak to someone. You have about maybe 10 minutes or so where you can speak amongst yourselves. If there's anything you guys wish to discuss, any strategy, any agreed upon lies that you wish to adopt, any questions you have for Zaboob.
Cheery fellow.
Zaboob says, Sarad is as a Dune Watcher, he is charged with the safety of all members of our community. The loss of the Dune Chasers and the patrols is weighing very heavily on him, I would imagine. 4 patrols lost, only a quarter of one returned, and the children.
In his eyes, we must give him that. We might seem a little bit ill-prepared for some kind of rescue mission, just by the look of us, I suppose.
From what tales you have told, and knowing the losses that we have occasioned, I think that the prospect of outsiders risking themselves for the community, the folk of the Black Tower, is a particularly attractive prospect, or would be viewed as one. We have lost much already. And he kind of grins at you. To be frank, you are not you are not folk of the Black Tower. Your loss would not be felt as keenly. Though, of course, as you've said, you are most capable of this.
I was just wondering, by the way, so do you think that the Black Tower extends underground as well?
It does. There is an extensive foundation made use by the biomancy factories here.
Ah, interesting. Very interesting.
Once we speak to Azul, I would be happy to bring you, and you, Dr. Ursprung, as both a crafter and physiker. I expect that would be of much interest to you.
Yes, indeed.
Anything else you guys wish to ask or discuss?
Let's see. So we were taken here against our will.
What do you mean by here?
Do you really want to tell all our story? Aren't we just here to find some folks?
Well, that's why I mean, if we were just going to tell our true story, we would need to rehearse it. So, yeah, I'm thinking of what we do say versus what actually happened, because he's bound to have a few questions, and so we haven't talked about it in a bit as far as what our...
Could we just say we are free agents from the outside, just in the business of doing these kind of search missions and stuff? I mean, being very close to what we actually do. We're from a different world. We came here, and now we find ourselves in the position to continue the line of work we always done before.
If it's that easy, then I mean, if he's not more curious, if he's not as, there's a possibility he's as curious as Zabub. So if that's the what you say is true, then that would be optimal. But if he asks more questions like Zabub did, then I just wanted us to be on the same page.
Yeah, totally. So say what you want us to tell.
To that end, Golag, what questions do you think they may be asking, given recent events here?
Like, how did you get here? What do I look like again?
Currently, like yourself, but with more of a traditional desert garb on.
Mm-hmm. And my scarring, what does it suggest?
Well, right now you have no scarring. Your scarring just suggests that you are potentially some kind of binder. You mentioned that Zaboob had mentioned before that you are a shadow binder, but there are several other kinds of binders who bind themselves to other entities, including one of the binding to the inscribed word that is prevalent here. There are other kinds of witches, is a mechanical way of thinking of it. There are witchcraft seems to be what, at least in this community and seemingly in the parts of Arthum that Zaboob is aware of, that is what takes the role of like clerics or priests or anyone else who would converse with another greater entity.
So pretty common, relatively. Pretty
common, but shadow binding is exclusive to the Sunslayer and his agents, which is why they suggested you could hide that or you could try and proctor that in your favor. But there will be an inevitable association with the agents of the Sunslayer or the Tyrant Queen.
Gotcha. And not the binding, but the shadow binding in particular.
The shadow binding specifically is what is viewed as being something that only agents of the Sunslayer indulge in.
Mm-hmm.
But you could say you're a binding. You could also say that you are a failed binder. That what your scars represent is that you were not faithful in the pact, and that you lost your abilities at some point, or you never completed your binding. Depending on.
Stop looking so jolly over there, Basil.
Yeah, I mean, from all I know, that could be very much true. I mean,
so if you want to pick from other potentials, other pacts that Zaboob is aware of are Faith's Flamekeeper, the Resentment, also known as the Leveler, the Silence in Snow, the Spinner of Threads, the Starless Shadow, and the Wilding Steward. The Starless Shadow would be associated with the Sunslayer, though, I guess. So that's it. Sorry, in addition to the inscribed word, who there is a Scalefolk named Ishirzo, who is someone associated with the inscribed word.
So we'll just say we're, I mean, we'll say we're outsiders and we're problem solvers, as has been said. And if by chance we have to go into more than that, then our fallback is that we were brought here against our will, and are trying to find and ultimately are trying to find our way home.
Okay.
I think that's any other thoughts on the.
Well, I think that's why we're there, and that's why we're offering our help. If we help them, hopefully they will help us get back to where we come from. That's the deal.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just putting those in chat for you, so.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So.
And we can say that maybe we were, as far as we know, we were there to be enslaved by the Sunslayer. It was his minions that brought us here.
Yeah.
But we could break free when our caravan or whatever was attacked.
Yeah.
And the good thing about that is,
remember, he's taking you here. If you're going to be traveling through the the utter dark, you know, he's representing for you and pitching for you. They know that he's hunting in the Underdark. If you're saying, "Oh, we were part of a caravan and we got lost," that's going to not track with.
No, not a caravan in the way of a caravan of the Isoki or something like that.
Okay.
But we were basically the guy was not reaching the destination he wanted to. And so when we were ambushed by this folk underground, we could escape, and that's true. I think that's
Okay.
The best lies are those who are true.
So, anything further you wish to discuss before you are brought before Zul?
So on the question, are you still the boss Golak, though? I mean, is this a vacation or is this a work trip?
I'm pretty sure it's on a vacation. How about that? We'll start with vacation can be eliminated. When you're kidnapped, vacation's hard to come by. It's hard to...
So that means I'm getting paid for my hours here?
Yeah, that's a good point. If I'm not in charge, you're not getting paid. Ooh, spicy.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. So...
Okay.
And there'll still be reviews. There'll be a review coming up. It's still on the calendar. Okay.
So Rod returns, and he and one of the guards at the front gate then accompany you deeper into the community towards one of the larger stone buildings. You can see that as you're making your way through here, there is a variety of, there's mostly orcs in here, but you can also see that there are lizard folk among here. There are, even a few Minotaur. And there is even, it looks like a small grouping of the Sorki, those same bug folk that you encountered underground. But mostly it is orcs, and seemingly quite busy. Like there is a bustling hive of things. And Dr. Ursprung, it's not quite the same, obviously, because of the kind of local technology level, but it's almost like when you've been into a workhouse or a factory, where there's clearly folks that are producing things and they're moving around, and there are some pretty exotic, like bio implants. There's a fella you see walk by who's an orc whose arm has been replaced with some kind of like scaly tentacle, who's carrying supplies. There's someone who obviously has like a different, similar to your own work, there's a different leg that has been grafted on from the knee down, and they are walking along as if it is completely, their own leg. There are folks who, seemingly have eyes that have been altered or changed, and you can tell it's not their natural eyes from the way that their skin tone changes as well. But it does seem like they're the kind of biomancy that Zaboob spoke of extends to the same kind of prosthetics and things that you see in Paridar, where it's the technological components are used to accommodate those who were wounded or otherwise lost limbs in the war in Paridar. What is noticeably absent is many warriors. There's no one who, apart from the guards that are in here, there isn't a clear sign of a bunch of, people with weaponry brandished. This is a working community, seemingly safe behind those thick stone walls. You were brought into one of these buildings, and I will say that your Igor in particular draws a great deal of attention. Someone foolishly even may brush up against it and burn themselves, which is to the great amusement of their colleague. But yeah, you are definitely drawing attention as you are walking through, particularly Igor and Sally to a degree. People are not quite sure what to make of you. But you were brought into one of the Blackstone buildings. The designs in here, they seem more akin to the style you saw covering those Minotaur ruins that you first found yourself in. So this does seem more orcish in make. You make your way in, and there is a man who is sitting on a kind of like a divan chair, talking to some others, and he looks like this. An older orc, clearly scarred, and curiously, his eye, that is not a natural damaged eye. It has been replaced with something. His left eye there. So he looks up and says to whoever he's speaking to, another orc, something that you cannot hear, and they leave. Urzul gets up, walks over to Zaboob, and shakes his hand and says, so these are the strangers you spoke of. And Zaboob says, yes. They would be... They seek shelter with the folk at the Black Tower, and they have a proposition to discuss. Urzul nods and gestures for one of the guard to remain with you. Zaboob, he says you can leave, and same thing with Sarab. So the two of them look at one another, they leave. Urzul says, if what Zaboob has said, you've traveled far today. You are no doubt thirsty, hungry, and he says something to one of the servants in here. They go out to collect some things, and he gestures to have a seat. Please, take what you will from what we have to offer. Tell me, who are you? You're welcome to help yourself to drinks. It looks like there's water in here. There's some kind of nectar, and there's some kind of that same booze that Zaboob had shared with you before.
We are a group of outsiders that we are from a different realm. We are...
What do you mean, different realm?
How would I describe it, Kevin? What is the vernacular we've been using?
I mean, I think the way you've been describing it is correct with describing it as a realm, but you got to remember who your audience is here.
Yeah. I was trying to think how I'd even. I was trying to access Golag's even knowledge of the
what your knowledge of the cosmology remember, yours is informed by one of the most brilliant scholars in Paridar. So your understanding of the cosmology of Paridar and other realms is greatly in excess of what even the most, avid kind of casual scholar might have. You are now in a very different land that doesn't have that same thing. So his frame of reference for that may not be the same, particularly if he's not a wizard of any kind.
Yeah, it is a very different land. Just to imagine the spires there being of a different color, not black like yours.
You must give us a diplomacy check, Basil.
And oh, okay, come on. The second roll is always better, I hope.
We did manage to prompt a roll of 99 to a roll of 100 yesterday from Terran's character.
Indeed, we did. After a GM hexing, I might add.
That was pretty great.
25 is okay.
25 is pretty good. So he says, I've only ever heard of the Black Spires.
Yes.
If your land has white, it must be quite far from here. What brings you here, and how do you know our language so well?
Well, the language we speak is very, very similar. So we use certain phrases a little bit differently, and then maybe I have an example of some, I don't know, outlandish thing. But what is more important is we were abducted here, so we came here not by our own will, but it just happened to us. So now we're here by magic, and we want to go back.
Very much we want to go back. It's very dry.
What? You are one of the Skitter folk, yes? He says to Basil.
Yes.
And you are not of a caravan.
Nope. Where I come from, we don't live in caravans.
You are not among the Sky folk.
Nope. I'm actually what we call a deep red. So I was born and raised underground.
And that is where your white spires are.
Yes.
I see. And you, I recognize, he says to Golag. Where are your folk from? This deep land with white towers as well? White spires?
Yes, that's where I live. Similar to Basil here. It's a city. We live in the same city, and all of us are in the occupation of solving problems for people. And as like
assassins,
people have. I'm sorry.
Assassins?
No, things like just things that have gone awry, that mysteries, missing items.
There's a little twinkle in his false eye at that.
And so, as Basil said, we were brought here to your land against our will, and so our pitch, our proposal has to do with us bringing to bear what we did in our land and applying some of those skills here, and as we overall try to get home.
Who brought you here?
We were brought by minions of the Sunslayer against our will to be slaves.
He shifts in his seat at that. You are enemies of the Sunslayer.
Yes.
I did not know that the Sunslayer's influence extended as far as these. Your home, is it in the Orklands?
It is not. We did not know either. And it came as a abrupt surprise to us as well. We fought those. He doesn't have control, but he sent some to bring slaves, and we fought his forces in where we live. Unfortunately, we lost, and so we were captured and brought here.
And all of you are enemies of the Sunslayer, and that is why you have been brought here.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
He explicitly killed one of our friends in trying to abduct us, so very much enemies of the Sunslayer.
You will not find any sympathetic to that tyrant here. We are all the folk of the Black Tower are fortunate that the Hellforged Desert is the vast distance between us and even the most remote of his power here. If you are an enemy of the Sunslayer, you will find he has little influence here, though I take that Zaboob has encouraged caution. in sharing this information with others.
Yes.
I would echo that advice. Your candor is noted. I, as Reeve, am responsible for the folk. I have been entrusted with the decisions for the community as a whole by the folk of the Black Tower. Your candor is appreciated, but there are those who would take advantage of that. These are desperate times, and the Sunslayer, he is not a forgiving soul. Were there more of you brought? You mentioned a dead friend. Did they die here or in your homeland?
In our homeland. They died in the fight. Well, sort of not exactly in the fight, but in a struggle to not be brought.
The one who brought you, did you slay him or her or them?
Unfortunately not. He survives, but when we escaped from his clutches, he went we don't know what happened to him at that point. That was here in your lands.
I see. He was a shadow binder, I take it?
Yes.
I am not conversant with it. The mysteries of binders. But I see your markings, Golag. Are you a binder yourself?
I am. Yeah, I utilized that magic in my lands for our vocation.
And to which are you bound?
I am bound to an authority in my lands. What are the flowers called?
The white blooms of Paridar.
Yeah, it's
the ones here.
I am bound to the white blooms in my city. Has to do with solving of mysteries.
I see. Is that why your markings carry no power? Because you are so far from your land and your blossoms.
I suspect that is true. My powers have not completely vacated me, but they've definitely been affected.
I see. Do you intend to continue your struggle against the Sunslayer?
I think it'll be, well, to some extent, it'll be forced upon us, just as we struggle in your lands that we don't belong in. We have no allies, if you will, other than you. I mean, I realize that's a strong word to use at this point, but this is the situation we find ourselves in. But our primary objective is to be able to go home as kidnapped captives, escaped, and wish to be free. But perhaps we can help along the way. And those we encounter can perhaps shed some light for us.
We are not revolutionaries here. We are not rebels. You will not find allies in that task here. If that is what you sought, you will need to travel elsewhere, though the road is perilous now. When you say you mean to help, what do you mean by that?
Zabub shared with us that what did Zabub call it? Was it a town or a village?
He'd been referring to as the folk of the Black Tower.
That your people had suffered some setbacks recently with in the area of some folks that you had lost, that they had not returned. And he suggested perhaps we could be of assistance, since this is in the area of things we did in our lands. And we are happy to assist. And if there's any help you can offer in our journey of trying to get home, then that would be appreciated. But we offer our services to see if we can locate and return your people.
He leans in as brow furrows. Everyone gets a hero point, by the way, too. So Zaboob has shared our circumstances. The children missing from dune chasing.
Yes.
Has he made you aware of the strife between the tribes that neighbor our lands?
He referenced it, saying that there is unfortunately a period of strife that that your people are dealing with. We don't know a lot of details, but yes, he did reference that this was going on.
There are two tribes that have controlled for decades now lands near our own. Both at times in the distant past have tried and tested their will against the folk of the Black Tower and found themselves wanting. They learned to leave us in peace, and we leave their lands to them. They are the Harrow Mob and the Scorch-Face Horde, or that is what they call themselves now. While there has not been in my lifetime an alliance between those two groups, nor their leaders, there has not been active war for more than a decade between them. Bloodshed, for certain, but they seem to keep to their own lands, and both know better than to strike at the Skitterfolk caravans that regularly travel to our lands. We do not know why the Skitterfolk have not returned, but we know that they are overdue, and they are never overdue unless tragedy has struck. We also know that there is active war between the Harrow Mob and the Scorch-Face Horde, and we do not know why. Whether this relates to the children lost to dune chasing, we cannot say. It occurred before the Skitterfolk caravan was lost, and the truth be told, we do not know whether there is a connection between that. What we know is that the road out that we most safely take seems unsafe now. The Harrow Mob was the one that set upon our folk, but that was in Scorch-Face Horde territory. The borders between their lands, which was the caravan route, seems to have collapsed, and I do not know why. We are folk of the Black Tower, very self-sufficient. We are capable of surviving, but we thrive through trade. Did Zaboob tell you any of the history of our folk?
I don't think so.
You saw the Black Tower as you approached.
Mm-hmm.
It was a place of learning in the time of the Unshadowed Age. Great biomancers here and in many of the surrounding communities that stood at the time, but the Black Tower was the grandest. While lost for many, many ages, it was our ancestors who found it again and plumbed its secrets. What you see, this community thrives on those ancient secrets.
Mm-hmm.
We frown on the act of dune chasing, but we also celebrate those who find things of great value in the ruins of the unshadowed age. And so you see the fault of the loss of our children. It falls on all of us. We deter the actions of them, but it is the secrets that keep and the uncovering of new secrets that keeps our community strong. It is the trade of the fruits of those secrets that truly keeps our community strong. And without trade, we will become no different than any other pack of scavengers. So we cannot survive without those routes being open again. And we must know what happened to our children.
Yeah, and we are eager to find out. Because I think there might be a connection between what is happening to us or what happened to us and what happens to the spires here or with the spires and the ancient things. I think there must be a connection between our worlds, but we still need to figure that out.
I am sympathetic to your predicament, I cannot imagine what it must be to be so far from home. And Sally, you seem as one who would be much more at ease in the Cankermire or the seas near there.
Oh, yes.
I am sympathetic. But my responsibility is to the community. Can you help us?
I think we can. It is a situation that we have addressed before in our lands successfully, and we are hopeful.
Zaboob, how did you come across him?
We met him underground.
Where he was hunting?
Yes.
Was perhaps the working of the inscribed word that brought you to him, then? He is a hunter, and a capable one. There are better trackers, but he is well equipped. And while he has not taken the binding, he was well tutored in Shadowspire City as an apprentice to the inscribed word. He also has extensive knowledge of the long history of our land. I think he may serve the folk at the Black Tower as your liaison then.
Mm-hmm.
As the reeve of the folk of the Black Tower, I make an offer then. You will find our youths, and you will find the source of the strife in our lands. In return, you will be as one of the folk. You will have homes, you will have food, and you will be welcomed by those whose insight and expertise may assist you in your task. Do you accept this?
Well, look around the crew. Sounds good to us, Reeve.
Then, and he gestures to one of the servants. She brings over some tea, and it is a very, very bitter black hot tea that has been brewed. And he says, then, let us welcome you as folk of the Black Tower. Brings the tea over, serves each of you, and one for himself. Witness, the Reeve welcomes you as folk in service with all your privileges and responsibilities. You are of the folk. And he toasts you.
Yep. Toast.
Okay. Having that consumed, he says then, Sarad is our master of the Dune Watchers. Zaboob has explained the extent of our investigations. Two search parties lost in search of the Dune Chasers. One lost in search of the caravan, and one left bloodied by the Harrow mob.
Indeed. Yeah, he did share that.
These developments and the loss of the Dune Chasers weigh heavily on him. I fear to the point of it clouding his judgment. The resentment among the folk for his failure to maintain his task. It is a heavy burden he carries, but if you are more equipped to find the truth of these matters, I would not spare his feelings. He will answer you. The folk demand it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you questions of the particulars of the region? Vothug is the high speaker of the Cabal of the Inscribed Word. They can help you, potentially.
Okay. Yeah, we really need to talk to the people who know more about where the folks gone missing, or where the bloody people were found. And
They may assist with that.
Yeah.
Ishirzo is our master of biomancy, and they may assist.
I share a look to Adam. Just
They are... Ishirso, it is the product of the biomancers that drives our community and their interest in the caravan is particularly keen.
Mm-hmm.
I take it that it has also... You're aware that the Shadow Spire sisters are late in arriving. We feared that this would be the case with the loss of the Skitterfolk caravan, but they travel far from Shadow Spire City, and I know that they are welcome. They are eagerly awaited. They attend biannually, not only by the members of the folk, or not only by the folk themselves, but Vothug seems particularly disturbed by their late arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Zaboob studied or apprenticed in Shadow Spire City. The enclave of the inscribed word is located there. I suspect that they may be transporting word from the conclave to Vothug, though I know not how that might relate to all the wrong that has occurred.
Mm-hmm. So I just look at the others. Have you heard about the Shadow Spire twin sisters before?
Only what Zabuba told us, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
bit.
you heard, yeah. Okay, so
A bit, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Basically what we just heard, I believe, what the Reeve just shared.
Okay.
Then, what do you need?
Well, we need provisions and someone to help us with the geography of the territories we're looking at.
Zaboob should be equipped for that, and we can equip you with provisions, of course.
And if there's any, perhaps, tools that, again, Zaboob would, I'm sure, be knowledgeable of, tools to survive that are useful in surviving your area here in the heat and the sand. Any tips, that kind of thing. But also, I don't know, some questions may come to us about the people involved, this Harrow mob, this Scorch Face, and what to expect. You know, do they ambush, or do they, what kind of weapons they utilize? I'm afraid we are bound to come into contact with them, and just what to expect. Do they shoot first and talk later, or do they parlay? Anyway, some questions like these that.
If you are strangers to our land, what you describe and the process you describe, it is the agents of the Sunslayer who interrogate, who uncover secrets, and who pursue them. I would not have you confused with them. In your land, what do they call folk like you?
Well, our particular group, we go by the. I think to myself, our actual term is not very helpful. Our actual name of our.
Really, I think it's perfect.
Really, because it has shadow in the name. Yeah, you think?
Yeah, no, just the illuminators. Just we illuminate.
Yeah. That's fine. We're called the Illuminators.
Once again, that eye kind of sparkles. That is very different from the agents of the Shadows, the Sun Slayer, and will adequately convey what your place is with the folk. On behalf of the folk, then, I deem you the Illuminators of the Black Tower.
Excellent.
That's very cool. We should have a T-shirt. Yeah.
Then, anything else you require? We will say it will be modest, but we have accommodations for you as well. Make it as if it was your home, because it is. You are of the folk.
We appreciate your welcome, and we will prepare with haste and to set upon our task.
When you have more information to share, bring it to me. So then,
I will. Mm-hmm.
I should advise war seems the inevitable consequence of these developments. I do not know when, but if you are unable to illuminate what has occurred, war will be the only way to restore the balance we had before. And that will come at a cost to all in our, not only the folk of the Black Tower, but all who live here. And as members of the folk, that will fall upon you as well. Then I will have someone see you to your home. I look forward to your updates.
Excellent.
So there will be another orc that would see you out and to your home among here, and it is one of the more temporary. It is more of like a mud, packed with reeds and things dwelling, but you have a place to stay and to call your own and to have seeming safety. You are still getting plenty of looks from folks in the community, but once word kind of spreads among the folks here, it seems as if it will be, you may still see less of those. But as you guys get settled into your home, your new home away from home, as it were, why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see what you guys choose to do next. Just put Kev, unmute yourself. And for those listening at home, we'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Make it more interesting for my ladies.
Okay, remember to unmute myself. Let me get, while we're waiting here, some handouts ready. Where's that sand dragon? Just kidding. Wait, am I? Excuse me, my goodness. Okay, we're all back. All right, let me just finish getting one more thing set up here. So, what is the first thing you guys are doing? By the time you guys get settled in there, it's likely going to be later in the day anyway. You can probably smell cooking fires for evening meals going from your various neighbors.
When do you think we're thinking of setting out? Tomorrow, or do we need a day to gather intelligence?
I think we need to talk to both of them first. So we need to talk to Vodak and Ichirso first before we can even go anywhere.
And potentially the survivors of the group that came back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the bloodied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If possible. So it depends whether we can speak to any of those this evening, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If that's an option.
Yeah, I'll have to play it by ear, I guess, seeing how quickly we can get through our tasks of interviews, and the provisioning probably won't take too long.
No.
Discussing with Zaboob about geography, tips, etc., and maybe whoever passes as an expert in the behavior of our potential foes, the Harrow Mob and the Scorch Face, of how they behave, what to expect, as we apparently will undoubtedly encounter them. So, I mean, probably the day after tomorrow anyway, and tomorrow, if we can get all this done, would seem to be the schedule. But we'll, let's see, I guess we'll talk with Zaboob, our liaison, our official now.
Yeah, if he, what you may find then is just he'll, kind of rap on the entrance to your new home, and he has brought food. He expects that your larder probably does not have much, so there is materials for him to show you how to, what you can cook with these things. Who among you do you think has any kind of cooking skills?
I mean, Golag's skills lie in other areas, so...
I think I would happily volunteer here, because...
Okay, here we go.
So Zaboob will show you what you're making. There is some kind of... it might be fish or insect, perhaps, meat that is being cooked in here.
Fish, yes. Everything else, no.
You will have to be less particular about your diet, Ms. Dumer.
Well, knowing how to cook it, I mean.
Oh, fair enough. So Basil, Zaboob will happily help you with showing you how to prepare a kind of a stew with this. And he asks how he's also so the stew is going to be with the some of the spices and some of the looks like tubers and other kind of root plants that he's cooking, as well as how to grill some of the whatever source of the meat is.
Yeah.
Do you ask
About the source? No. Why?
the meat? Okay.
No. I'm not picky here.
Okay. So then he asks you, as you guys are, if you're all kind of hanging around, he has brought drinks for you as well. How did things go with Urzul?
Good. I think as well as could be expected. We explained our situation and what we sought, and offered to help him in his people's current travails. And he accepted the offer and made us as part of this pact, official members of the community, with this being our home, and we are charged with both locating your people and determining the reason for the strife.
No small task, then. In what ways I can help, I am happy to do so. You have helped me return a yield greater than I would in 2 extra trips. And so my contributions are well ahead. What ways I can help, I will happy to do so.
Well, I will tell you, we are seeking audience with Vothug, the High Speaker, as well as Ichirzo, the Master of Biomancy.
When Vothug's name is mentioned, Basil, you would pick up that Zabub's face kind of twitches a little bit at that, and he says, "It may be best if I not accompany you to Vothug. I will be happy to provide introductions to Shirzo, though I think you will find them most accommodating."
Also mentioned that you were in the apprenticeship in Shadow Spire, if I recall correctly.
Again, you probably picked this up first, Basil. There's a bit of, like, again, a twitch, and as if like an old wound was hit. He says,
but we don't need to talk about that. Everything's fine.
No, he gestures to the scars on his face, and he says, "I am forever reminded of the path that might have been, but it was my fate lay elsewhere than that. So it has afforded me an education that few folk of the Black Tower would be capable of. So it is not a completely fruitless task, but Vothug is my sister.
Oh.
She feels that my choice has been one in error. So,
this sentiment is not uncommon among siblings, I can assure you.
It is the same here, and it is a way, I'm sure it may be the same with you, that none feud like siblings do. But she is a loyal and devoted member of the folk, and she will assist you how she can. It would be a disservice for our mutual antagonism to cloud what value she may offer you in light of the seriousness of the circumstances.
Mhm. Just one question out of curiosity. The city of Shadow Spire is called so because there is also a spire there?
There are dozens there.
Interesting.
And they're all
Scholars-
black, I assume.
Indeed. All those to be found in Narthum are black.
Maybe
There-
at some point we have to visit this city, but who knows?
I can provide introductions to many there, both in the high city and low city, who may provide value. If there is a way to find yourself home, you should be able to find the answer, either among those of the high city or in Lowtown.
Maybe I wink at Golek with the provision that we find it either in the high city or in Lowtown. That would be.
Then,
In addition to those two, we'd like to speak with those who were of the party that returned wounded.
the Jakara was the leader of that expedition. She is the one who returned. I can make arrangements to speak to her this evening, tomorrow.
Yeah, as soon as possible. You know, whatever the schedule, whatever it makes sense between all those mentioned. And
While she is recovering from her wounds, there will be very little else to do. We can bring it to her tonight.
And then we'll also, we'd like to speak to someone, that could be you, about what to expect from the Harrow Mob and the Scorch Face that we are undoubtedly going to run into. Like how will we be treated? What is their, you know, do they ambush or do they parlay? What is their, at least I know times have changed perhaps, and that is part of the mystery, but what is their modus operandi that we can be on our guard against, perhaps? Some tips.
Even in good times, it was unpredictable how they are, well, very different, similar in one way, that they are predators, and they should be treated as such. Weakness is viewed as something to exploit, but before our recent troubles, both traded with the folk of the Black Tower. And so they can be, in other times, reasonable. Now, Jakar described the Harrow Mob as they seeming to attack to eliminate. And I do not know why. Or at least
That's something new?
the Scorchface Horde are slavers, and their masters have always prioritized stock of all variety over success. The Harrow Mob, of the two, while very limited in their means, the Harrow Mob have biomancers in their numbers. And so Shirzo will suggest them as properly compared to the work of Ishirzo's biomancers as butchers to a surgeon. They are capable of many of the ancient secrets, and they know the ways of biomancy and the mutability of the creatures in our land. They know to take advantage of that.
Yeah. But I've a question that you may answer, maybe, or you know the answer to. I guess none of those would be willing or would dare to attack an Isoki caravan.
It would no.
So I guess we are dealing with something else here, and they might be involved, but they are not the source of what's going on here.
The Skitterfolk caravans respond to threats in a number of ways. Refusal to trade is one, and when one caravan refuses trade with a community, it is true for all. There are no Skitterfolk who will trade with that. It takes particularly those of us who survive on the fringes of the Hellforge. We rely on some elements of that trade to be more than we would be simply squatters without trade.
Yeah, that was my impression as well. So, yeah.
And the other, it's said, though I've never witnessed the outcome of this, it's said they have the night rats. And the night rats come where trade will weaken and the strangling of trade will leave a community anemic. It is the night rats that comes to cut out that which offends the Skitterfolk.
I would just twitch my whisker a little bit because I've a strong feeling I know what this is all about. Yes.
I do not know why the Harrow Mob, as with the Scorchface Horde, they are violent, but in the interest of domination, not extermination. And the way Jakara described, it was a savagery, most unlike our previous dealings with them, even in bad times. When last there was conflict between the two, I was in Shadowspire City. And for more than 10 years, they have been at peace. I do not know what has caused these problems now. The geography, and he sits down and kind of draws a little map on the kind of sandy surface of your home. If this is where the folk of the Black Tower are, and the Ringing Mountains are thus, the Harrow Mob would hold these lands. The Scorchface Horde would hold these, and they would be bordered by the Great Basin, vast and trackless sands. We came from here.
Okay.
This path here has been the trade route that those traveling to and from the Black Tower would carry. They would also trade with the Harrow Mob and the Scorchface Horde. It seems that the Harrow Mob, have entered the lands of the Scorchface Horde across them, because that is where Jakara encountered them. And there is no mistaking the members of the two.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting.
The Dune Chasers most often, they will either keep to the edge of the mountains, skirting the lands of the Harrow mob, or seek their riches in the Great Basin. Most in the Great Basin. Though from what we understand, the missing Dune Chasers, they went to the north, bordering on the Harrow mob lands.
Okay.
The only... Well, the Harrow mob may have, in past, quite happily and swiftly dealt with their captives, taking what they require and then potentially trading it off. If the Skitterfolk have removed trade from here, they may need to keep their stock fresh. And so there is still some hope that they may yet survive. We think that the Harrow mob may have taken them, but it is a mystery. In past, they would have ransomed them, perhaps, claiming them as intruders on their lands, or at least been clear with what they intend. So,
yeah. We will find out. We will get to the root of this mystery, I'm sure.
what do you plan to do first?
Well, after our interviews, after we speak with the variety of people here, I presume we will probably try to follow in the footsteps of the paths of those most tread that have been lost.
If you, in your past as illuminators in your homeland, I trust you have dealt with uncooperative individuals before.
We have.
The strategies you employed there may find use in dealing with the folk of the Skitter folk, so the Scorchface Horde and the Harrow mob.
Indeed.
Anything else you wish to ask of Zaboob or discuss with him? Otherwise, he'll happily introduce you to Jakara this evening, or show you how to speak to Vothug or to Ishirzo.
I think we should talk to Jakara because Adam might be able to help her even. So that would be...
Sounds good.
Okay. So you finished your meal. It is hot, it is very spicy, and it is very unlike anything you've had before. Afterwards, you are brought to... it's a bit of a walk. It seems that there are some of the Dune Watchers all sort of live in their own kind of almost like a barracks together. You were brought in and you are introduced to an orcish woman who looks like this. You can see she quite obviously has a her leg from kind of the right leg from sort of just above the knee down has a very different cast to it. It looks like it is a pale white kind of scaly quality. It may be a lizard folk leg that has been grafted onto her own. and there are some kind of ointments or, unguents that have been applied to the seam between the two. And she's resting in bed. She walks in, looks over, and says, well, actually, she says nothing, I think, as you approach. Zabub would say in Orcish to her, Takara, these are the illuminators of the Black Tower, charged by the Reeve with finding the source of our troubles and our missing young folk. And Jakara is pretty, even for an orc, in a seemingly pretty shitty mood. And looks, particularly after kind of looking over the motley lot, lands eyes on you, Golag, and says, so then you are the one to succeed where we failed?
We are certainly going to try to find your people. That is our intent, and we could use your help, your knowledge, and we'd like to speak with you about it to see what we could learn, if that is okay with you.
Why don't you give us a diplomacy check, please?
Right.
Well, everyone gets a hero point too. Max 3, remember, in this game.
Let's see. That is a 6.
Yeah.
I'll try it again.
Okay.
No, it is spoken. It is the fate of the gods.
So she says, ask your questions for what good it will do. What do you know of these lands and these people?
Very limited. And I think Golag, since, I doubt it's really me, but this is one of those, where you call in the backup, and so he's going to pass this off. So he says, very little, and your knowledge could be of great value to us in finding your people. And then he turns to Dr. Ursprung and he says, Dr. Ursprung is a healer, is going to be all with us. He's part of our group that can possibly help the wounded that we find when we find your people, and is also interested in hearing perhaps what happened to you, so we can know what to expect. And he looks at Dr. Ursprung to see if he can make any better progress with our patient.
She glares at you and just simply says, you are hideous.
There you go. That's a low bar. You could exceed that, Dr. Ursprung. That's the low bar she's started for you.
I think he just completely ignores that comment and just walks towards her and says, may I look at the treatment they are offering you? See if I can assist.
You think yourself better than both the Dune Watchers and the Biomancers, then? Arrogance will get you far here.
Dave shrug. Have a look.
Give us a medicine check, please.
Okay.
You take a 10 as well, I think, as you've got your nice roll, though. Wow. So it is kind of remarkable. It seems as if through some kind of means they have successfully grafted leg, but unlike yourself, stitched together from different pieces, this seems to be as if the flesh is perfectly marrying where the limb meets her leg. You also notice that there are a couple of other things too, like if unlike some of the other orcs that you've seen here, she seems to have a nictating membrane of some kind in her eye, and there's just enough of a sign of some kind of surgery, so you'd think that it's not something that is natural to her. but I mean, it looks like, you know, if this is something that occurred not long ago, for a traumatic injury like losing a limb, this is an astounding level of recovery, certainly beyond what your simple surgeries could fix. There must be some kind of magic or alchemy at play here.
I think he'll just be nodding as he looks at it, and he'd be just saying like, incredible, very interesting, and he'll just be looking at sort of various, like the eyes and stuff.
Okay.
And I think I'll look over at Golag, and I don't think I can help any further. That whoever's treated this
Your
patient.
first failure, then.
Why are you so hostile?
You think I should not care that our younglings, our children, are missing?
No, I think we want to help you find them. So why are you trying to discourage us from helping you?
Give us a diplomacy check, please.
Let's see. I think I will re-roll. I mean, it might get worse, but I think it needs to be better than that. So
Okay.
just trying. I mean, yeah, that's much better.
So there is, it's not her nictating membrane, but there's like there are like heavy tears that are building in her eyes, and she says in like as much of a restrained and choked manner as she can, my nephew is among the Doom Chasers. His father died with us.
I'm very sorry for your loss, but we will try to find your nephew and get to the bottom of whatever that is. But for that, we need your cooperation and we need more information. We might not seem like very good experts on this, but our job and the thing we can do best is find out these kind of strange mysteries that happen.
Ask your questions.
So could you just quickly describe how that thing happened to you? So was it an ambush? Was it was there talk before?
There was. We were sent. Sarad believed a connection between the lateness of the Skitterfolk caravan and the disappearance of our youth. They set out on the borders of the Harrow Mob lands, but we think they pushed inland. This storm that came before was it seemed the Great Basin itself emptied and then drew all of its sand back in. We think many lost ruins were exposed, particularly those among the mob and the horde. We were traveling through, assuming that the mob was what took our first expeditions. We traveled through scorch-faced horde lands, and there, a half-day's travel within them, we found the Harrow mob. They were equal in numbers to us, but we thought them a raiding party, scouting perhaps, given their numbers. And so we sued for parley. They had many questions of what we knew, and they knew that our Dune Chasers were missing, though they claimed ignorance of what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
We explained that we sought the Skitterfolk caravan and asked what they knew. They claimed no knowledge of that as well, but that seemed equally a lie. My brother, he is a good judge of these creatures among the mob and the horde, and he was certain of it. Whatever was said that evening after we had departed them, they clearly had followed and set upon us in the night. The mob, even in their most vicious, they take survivors, and it was clear they intended for none of us to live. Indeed, they were shouting it. My brother stood against them so that I could be dragged, and she gestures at her leg, maimed from the fight. I should have died with them, but I think they killed us so we would not share where they were and what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. So did they say anything that hinted to why they were in the Horde's land?
They did not say, but for a raiding party, they had an extraordinary amount of supplies, digging and excavating.
Yeah.
They are beasts, but the Harrow mob, they know the value of what can be found beneath the sands.
I can imagine, yeah. So
Do you think they were driven by? Could it be that they were driven by looking for something similar to the Dune Chasers, something that had been unearthed by recent shifting sands in lands that were not their own?
The Scorchface Horde would know nothing of the value of what can be found in ruins. They know only that it is a place to shelter from the elements. But to venture so far into Scorchface lands, they are mostly equal in footing. So to go to war would be a great risk for either. If they are in the Scorchface lands, it must be that the Scorchface Horde is more greatly weakened than we thought, or that the Harrow Mob knows of something
Yes.
that is of significant enough importance for them to risk conflict. A conflict that they are not guaranteed to survive.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would suppose so. They were looking for something very specific. And they might even suspected that you were looking for the same thing.
They seemed not troubled when we asked of our Dune Chasers. They must know what happened to them.
Yes.
It was the Skitterfolk caravan. They must know something of that as well.
Yes.
They killed most of us for that.
Yeah.
Or so I think.
I think that's true, yeah. I think they wanted to hide what they were up to.
So the theory is that each of these groups disappeared for that purpose, for secrecy, that they all stumbled into this project, this task, this dangerous incursion.
We are too early in the investigation to have a theory already, but I think
Zaboob was shared that the two initial expeditions would have been around the area, looking for the Dune Chasers, would have been around the area of the Harrow Mob's lands. But the second would have been traveling much the same distance, same direction as what Jakara's group would, sticking to the Scorchface Horde lands in the hopes of avoiding whatever conflict with the Harrow Mob may have led to the disappearance of the other two. It could be something unrelated to the Harrow Mob. It's rare that, one of the other things that when the sands blow and things are revealed, things can be awakened as well.
yes.
To say nothing of creatures, but also things from that lost age. Undead are most certainly a thing here. And when you suddenly open the doors to a lost thing, there can be dangers from there. We don't know what happened to those first two caravans, but out of an abundance of caution, expeditions, the second ones in search of the Skitterfolk caravan tried to stay well into the lands of the Scorchface Horde with the hope that the Harrow Mob would not be there.
Yeah.
So two different areas.
Precisely.
Okay. Gotcha.
The northern bit is the the Harrow Mob's lands traditionally. The southern is where the Scorchface Horde is, and then south of that is the Great Basin.
Yeah. So yeah. I think we Thank you very much for your report, Jakara. We will get to the bottom of this. I'm very sure about that.
I'm told the Reeve has made you of the folk
Yes.
of the Black Tower.
Yes.
Then these are your children too.
That is true.
She kind of sniffs, looks over you all again. Laying back on her pillow and looking up at the ceiling. Have you any other questions?
Just after my not investigation, but diagnosis of her injuries or whatever, studying of her injuries, how long do you reckon I think she'll be out of action or able to travel, or how long do I think it would take her to recover?
Tough to say, given that you're not sure what precisely what the process is here. But I mean, from the way that the way that the blood seems to be flowing in the new limb and whatnot, like maybe tomorrow.
What else? When you mentioned that they had similar numbers to your own, what approximate numbers are those? Were they a dozen?
6.
Were they? So what's that?
6. Each of the expeditions was 6 individuals.
Gotcha. But if you fought the ones that attacked you, how many did they have?
They attacked at night, and they attacked suddenly. I feel there were more than 6. When first we parlayed with them, they may have had others hidden.
You had 6 yourself, did you? Yeah. Okay.
I think I would turn to Golag and say, we will need a guide out there. We will need someone that knows where they're going and who's traveled these lands.
You mean other than Zaboob?
Yeah, someone who's traveled this journey once before. And I'll sort of look towards her.
Yeah, she looks away stops staring at the scene and looks at you. You intend to hunt them?
I think that could definitely be the case. It sounds like there's not much talking that's been involved in this investigation so far, or this disappearance of your people.
We
So,
need
Rob,
to find out what they are hunting for, and we have to hope that they did not find it already, so that we can find it before they have it. Because I suppose once they have it, they will be returning to their homeland, and it will be much harder to get information from there.
she looks away from Dr. Ursprung at the rest of you, looks up at Zaboob, who is staying stumm for now. And then she looks back at you, Dr. Ursprung, and says, though I may go through Sarad to do so, when you go, I will be with you.
I think you'll be a very valuable member of the group.
She kind of twitches it with excitement, baring her fangs a little bit, and says, Zaboob actually, I think, maybe speaks now and says, Sarad, we owe him. He is master of the Dune Watchers. And Jakara kind of, like, it doesn't seem like she's going to need to get his approval one way or the other. But Zaboob says, leans into maybe you, Sally, and says, Sarad has seen humiliation upon humiliation heaped on his shoulders. Yep. If he has no authority over those charged to follow his lead, it may see a collapse in confidence among the Dune Watchers.
Yeah. We don't need to make this worse here, the situation.
We can, we can follow. We can make requests, and Zaboob can assist with that. We're not here to cause antagonism. We're not here to facilitate or spark antagonism in the community. So we can make requests.
She lays back on the bed once again, looking up at the ceiling. I am going.
Well, rest up. Anyone have any other thoughts for Jakara? All right. I'll look at Zaboob and say thank you, Jakara, and look at Zaboob for departure.
She kind of snorts and says simply, "Tell me when you are leaving." And there is Jakara. So, what do you guys wish to do now? Get rid of all our...
I think we need to talk with the master of the watch, or whatever his name was exactly.
Sarad.
Sarad, yeah. Because it would be very unwise to make this about, I don't know, about us by just jumping the chain of command here.
It's not really necessary either. You know, I mean, I guess he could say no, but I think the pressure, there'll be, I'm anticipating that there's room here that, you know, she can guide us, even though Zaboob knows the area. Jakara knows exactly where it happened, and that could be very valuable. So the notion of telling us no seems unlikely. So I think
there's also, you're not wrong to think that there's a different skill set that would be involved between a hunter like Zaboob, who also has a background, you know, he's also educated, and someone who is effectively like a ranger. Yeah.
So I think I'm hopeful that our reception will be maybe not friendly, but fine, will be effective.
It's not far from the barracks where Jakara is, where you would be able to find Sarad if you wish to speak to him.
Well, before we get there, and I'll say my only concern about Jakara is that we should.
I'm not sure I can control myself.
What's that?
I said, you're not sure you can control yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure we can control her. Fine. So that was foreshadowing. Because we kind of need some. I mean, she's obviously headstrong. She has, you know, maximum emotions about the situation. It just happened. You know, it's not like it happened a year ago. So we need to establish with her that, you know, if she goes rushing off to do something or wants us to do something, of exactly who's ultimately in charge. And that's the only concern that, because it sounds like, is it our impression, Kevin, that she was in charge of her own group?
Yes.
Yeah, so that just doubles down everything I'm saying. So
I was already having insecurity feelings.
I mean, well,
guys, I want to be clear who's
now.
In charge here. I'm the boss.
You know, even if the person who was in charge was someone in our party besides me, it's got to be our party and not her, I think. And that you know, this will be funny until we're hiding behind a dune looking at an enemy and she charges into battle. You know, and we're like, whoa, you know, then it's no longer humorous. And so So I think establishing that now is important rather than in the moment when we're seeing a potential foe come into range. So that's my only concern about Jakara. I think she's a good idea to come, but besides that.
But I think I'll just look at you and roll my eyes in the way to Sally, wondering whether you described Sally or whether you described Jakara.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's no comparison at this time, I'm afraid, Basil. I mean, I tell you what, Basil, if you would like to take full responsibility for all of Jakara's behaviors, you are welcome to it. But I am I think we should establish, you know, who's calling I mean, most of the time, I think we'll be on the same page. But at some critical moment, we have to decide who makes the calls, and I think that's much easily more easily determined now than in the moment.
I think somehow Basil has the experience of being in the army and being somehow used to having people in command who are maybe less capable than you would like, and well, he's more optimistic here. I think she's very experienced, and we just need to her to check her temper so that there will be someone left to ask questions.
There is that saying among the Paridar army about the officer corps, lions led by donkeys.
Yeah.
What I'm hearing is a volunteer. Basil, when I look for Jakara to hopefully follow in our purpose, I will look to you, Basil. Splendid. That sounds good.
Yeah.
So then, who would you care to speak to next? You still probably can talk to one more person unless you want to push it quite late. And given the urgency of this thing, you could probably push to talk to everybody tonight if you'd like.
I mean, I think we do, right? I mean, I think time's of the essence.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I think we at least need to talk to the Jabub. No, what was his name? I don't. What was the commander of the watch called again?
Sirad.
Sirad.
Yeah, I just need to write that down here. Yeah. Sirad. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So if you want to speak to Sirad, he is probably the closest of all the other folks whose kind of names you know thus far. You would find him strategizing with other members of the Dune Watch.
Yeah.
If you knock on them, you'd see him talking to probably about maybe 5 other folks dressed similar to him. He looks over. Yes.
Sirad, we just spoke with Jakara, the survivor of the last party sent out, and we've determined that it is essential that we find exactly where that occurred, not only where they first parlayed, perhaps under false pretenses, sounds for certainly under false pretenses, and also ambushed later, that we find that precise location, and Jakara can do that. So we have determined we would very much like Jakara to be able to accompany us and take us to that place when she is able to take us out there.
The Reeve. He has made you of the folk. You are not truly of the folk.
That is very true. But nevertheless, we are here to solve your problem.
You are here to have more of the folk killed. You cannot do this task without members of the Dune Watch and risking them. Is it not enough that she lost a leg? You wish that she loses her life now.
Our focus is on the task at hand, Sirad, which is in locating and hopefully rescuing your people, our people, the children, as well as the parties sent out in search of them. And there are certain ways to approach this, and Jakara could be of great assistance in something what we've determined already to be critical, and that is finding the geographic location of where this happened. That is our focus.
And what has Jakara said?
Well, that she could take us there, and that's what we need.
He seems a little surprised by that.
But tell me your hesitation, if you would.
My hesitation is that you are strangers here. You are ignorant of these lands. You are ignorant of our ways. You are ignorant of the threats that you would face. And you would prey on the grief of one of the folk to cause her to throw her life away as her brother did.
Sir,
I will not contest. If she wishes to die with you, that is fine. But we will not seek your corpses when you die. We will not mourn your losses, and I will point to you as a reason that outsiders like you should not be trusted.
That seems very much fair.
Good. Jakara has my dispensation to join you in your fool's errand.
Thank you.
You can tell he is very much also showing up for the other 5 folks that are in here.
Yeah. So, do I get the impression that he realizes that it is very, very lucky for him to have her off the premises? Because otherwise she would steer up the folks against him, as she already did when we were around her?
You can give us a, perception check. There's not sense motive, I don't think, in this game.
No. Perception, it's not deception, it's perception. Wait a minute. So,
On the right side of the screen, remember?
yes. So 27.
Yeah, there's a lot of this, guys. You get the sense that this is a weak person performing strength.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like when you feel your grip on authority slipping, you doubly, grip harder to try and do that. Also, not for nothing, like this guy's lost, 20 of the people?
Yes.
Here too, so not an insignificant loss.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, but that was good, because now we can at least say we are not I don't know, bringing the folk, breaking up the folk even more than they are, or divide them.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if we wanted to, if the I think we need to talk to the biomancer. I think that is very important. But I don't know what you consider best or more important. Where should we go first?
That's fine. I mean, yeah, I think biomancer sounds good.
Yeah, or are we hoping that there is some more overview of what's going on? I think it's more and kind of an event that was not planned. So there is not that one of them has information about it, I don't think. So it's not like whatever happened there was something that could be foreseen. I don't think that this is true. So I think the what was the priest called again? Vortuk, the high speaker, would know. He would know something, but I think we could just talk to Shirzo first.
Okay, you guys are good with that? Speaking to Shirzo first.
And let's review. Let's probably just for Sean's sake, let's review what we think they know. What do we think they know? Ishizuru thinks we think Ishizuru can help.
Shirzo.
Yeah. That's not going to help. But
No.
I appreciate your. It's important to know one's weaknesses, and that is not going to help. But I'm better off trying a Scottish accent at this time. But I will put that off. Shizuru.
So,
what do we think Ishizuru knows?
So I think we are dealing with a tribe of biomancers
Mm-hmm.
who are on their enemy's territory looking for something. And that is so important and so vital to them that they are even killing our folk, as we could say now. So I think that is very important, and I would really talk to him about what Jakara can do and how that, well, how she will be able to do what she has done with her new leg and so on. So that seems to be important, and there seems to be some importance to this biomancer thing, I suppose. Whatever they found or whatever they are looking for, I'm pretty sure it is related to that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing and then again, I mean, he might know something about how these biomancers, how this tribe functions in a little bit more way, because when I think they sell the parts of their victims, so someone must buy them, and I think there must be some kind of market for that somehow. So there must be some. We've seen here in this Black Tower that biomancy seems to be their way of dealing with casualties or with injuries and so on. So that seems to be a common thing. So there must be some kind of I don't know, some kind of common structure maybe between biomans or be behind this biomancy for them and the folks here. I would yes, at least.
And while we're on the subject, what do we think that Vothug might be able to help us with? Vothug, the High Speaker of the Cabal of the Inscribed Word.
So he might know something about the caravan of the Isoki that went missing, because as far as we know, he wants to receive something from them. So he might have some more information.
So we keep saying he. Remember, Vothug is she.
A she, yes. I'm sorry.
The sister.
Yeah. 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 That could be helpful, but I somehow don't think that this is related to whatever. It seems more like something came out of by the storm, was uncovered, and something is going on here that is more like happenstance and not planned. That was my judgment. Why we don't need to talk to her before. And I might be totally wrong. So
you don't think it has anything to do with what the caravan had, and therefore Vothug's input would not be as valuable. Is that right?
Yes.
More or less?
Okay. Yes. I think it's more like I somehow think that they uncovered something that they have somehow had some kind of I don't know, maybe infusion of something that changed the way that the tribe worked, and so they're hunting for a second part or a second thing or some kind of supplement for that. I think they found one part and they need the other. That is what I get from that. And that is so important that they would risk a total war with two factions against them. That is my first guess, but might be totally wrong. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, and I guess the talk with Vothug could, she is a major person of the community and may have thoughts, at the very least, could have some thoughts on motive and what happened here. Even if there isn't something specific she can help with, talking with her, I don't think would be probably won't be a complete waste. You know, she'll share her theories at least.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, that helped as far as getting Golag's thoughts together on these interviews on these.
And I would really like to understand how this biomancy is related to what actually Adam is. So.
As far as Dr. Ursprung can tell, unrelated, like completely. It affects the same type of thing as far as healing and restorative properties and, bending limbs, but it's just, it is very different from the crossover of engineering and medicine that he is an expert in, or in which he's an expert. It is something that seems to be, if not alchemical, then potentially full-on magic.
Mm-hmm. So it's like a wizard and some kind of sorcerer or something like that.
There would be alchemists within that are in Paridar as well, but like they would be fixated on. You might think of them as more like exotic apothecaries than you would as proper magic users. You've never seen anything like this in Paridar, Dr. Ursprung. This is truly revolutionary stuff. It might be akin to something like, it's not quite the same thing because by comparison, it is a much cruder thing, but the vampiric serum that was used to create all the Dampiers in the war. That stuff and the other products of that Ninth Medical Corps, this is a kind of quasi-magical alchemical stuff that they were doing, but like they're fumbling around in the dark in comparison to this. They, to the best of your knowledge, could never achieve something like what you've seen in this community.
And interestingly, the source of their knowledge here seems to be the Spire, which makes it maybe, no?
I mean, it is in the sense that the Spire certainly is incorporated as part of this tower, and the tower itself is what they said was a center of biomancy in the Unshadowed Age. So, and then it wasn't clear what Urzul was saying before. The tribe or the folk of the Black Tower, they, tell people, oh, don't go into the, don't go dune chasing. Don't go and uncover these things. That's a dangerous and foolish activity. It's a good way to get yourself killed. However, if kids do find biomancy secrets down there, those are celebrated. And so it's kind of a, don't do it if you're unsuccessful because you're wasting your time and risking everyone's life. But if you're successful, boy, do you contribute to the folk, because biomancy is a core part of it. So it's probably why it's continued to be a approved process, because it does actually help the community as a whole. The more knowledge they're able to add to the corpus of lore that they have about biomancy, the more influential they can be. And all it costs is some dead kids who went down the wrong tune. So
but this is, in a way, the knowledge they're using is very, very old and somehow mostly forgotten, but they uncover pieces which are hidden below the sand. So and sometimes when things are forgotten, there's a reason, and that's not always a bad thing. So I could imagine that whatever this tribe of biomancers uncovered, maybe something that is very, very dire, and maybe they are in a way out of their mind, or they found something that will, I don't know, give them such a great advantage that all of that is worth it because.
Yeah, and something that Zabub had said before when he was explaining the prevalence of biomancy here, he mentioned that the things here are quite mutable. And as a result, it sometimes expresses itself in unexpected ways.
Mm.
So you could find unique mutants out and among these areas that you could not intentionally create that kind of change. And that is a legacy of the biomancy in the region as well.
So it's like in a way like wild magic, but more for this biomancy.
Kind of like that, yeah. And like the fact that the sun is veiled and that what Zaboob suggests that at that time, that's what killed the gods. This is a place that is extremely affected by magic. There are tangible efforts. So the continued influence, if biomancy is one of those things that continues to influence this region, it's another unintended legacy of ancient potent magics that could be used for benefit, but also have incredible deleterious effects.
Sounds so fascinating. Can't wait to uncover all of that.
Thanks. Then we got 5 minutes left in the session. Any other planning bits you guys want to talk over for next time? We have a conversation with Ishirzo and Vothug for next time. And we want to have further chat with Sarad. He seems pretty eager to talk to you guys.
Our buddy, our drinking pal.
Your buddy Sarad, yeah.
When he is alone, maybe, but not in front of the others.
I'll have to remember that.
That is a good point. He may just be a son of a bitch. He may just be bad at his job, right? Like, you have yet to see any evidence of him particularly doing a good job at this. It's not to say that someone could have done better given the circumstances, but you can't have, there's nothing you've seen thus far that points to him doing a good job of being the master of the Dune Watchers.
He doesn't seem to be handling the strife well.
No. He is not. He is definitely not handling the circumstances well. Truth told, like, if you think of times before this, notwithstanding how dangerous things can be out there, the extent of his job may have been more a matter of, like, getting angry at kids for doing dune chasing that everybody does. It's not a direct parallel, but the extent of call for his services may have been akin to, like, what a mall cop experiences, as opposed to, like, a military or SWAT team would be required to respond to.
Mm-hmm.
And so this may just be a problem that is well beyond his capabilities or experience. Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty tough pill to swallow for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, responsibility makes you stupid. That always happen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Which is great because you guys are the sole illuminators of the Black Tower now. So
I'm
sure nothing will come of that.
Not stupid. It just makes in general the view. Yeah.
All right.
Do they have business cards in this realm? Do they have like?
They do not. No.
Okay. I was just checking. Do
you want to give yours over or?
No. I was going to have new ones made. Illuminators of the Black Tower.
Oh, very nice. Yes. So now what Dr. Earthsprung needs to do is invent the printing press, and then
it's on the
also
list.
Find a stand of trees, invent wood pulp.
Yeah, I mean, we could at least, you could invent accounting, Golek, maybe. That's the thing they need here.
Yeah, there's no payday here, I hear. It's weird. It's just weird.
Then, guys, I think that brings us to the end of part one, today's session, and part one of Hunt the Veiled Sun. Let me bring us back to our title screen here. Wrong one. Is it the Veiled Sun one? No. Where the heck is it? I think it's right here. Yeah, there we go. All right, then. For those listening at home, Thank you so much for joining us for part 1 of the Hunt the Veiled Sun mystery as part of our Spires of Paridar campaign. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. There's also a link down below to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, where all of us are active, and we have a channel there dedicated to the Spires of Paridar campaign, as well as most other games and campaigns we run on the channel. There's also channels over there for Find a Group, GM discussion, virtual tabletop chat. There's a very knowledgeable, helpful, and friendly community over there, and you are more than welcome to join us. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. I don't have a current discount code for them, but Noble Knight Games remains the premier unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have an incredible selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including, like, let's say, I don't know, if you were wanting to make use of the D&D 3.5 supplement Sandstorm, you may be able to get a copy of them from there. If they don't have something in stock that you're looking for, you could put it on a want list, and they'll send you an email when it comes in, and if you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code that will be down below on one of our next videos. Hopefully, if you're listening to this after January 4th, 2026, we'll have a current discount code listed there. We just do not have one at present. Typically, we've got something that'll let you save 10% on any purchase of $10 or more through their website. The last thing I'll say is an enormous thank you to our stalwart illuminators. So, Angolf, Sean, James, and Darren, thank you so much for playing today, guys. First session of 2026, and on our way to, year 5 of this campaign. Yeah, it's 2021. Yeah. So there we go. You guys are beginning to show your characters are looking like they're beginning to show the age. Maybe ninth level already. Let that happen. Jeez. But we'll be back in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes, our illuminators, are uncovering in this strange new world. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.